some tools I'll be using. Let's start with this. Pretty rotted. Well, I got one to poke out. I'll just leave it. I got new ones. Once I get all the fabric and the nails and stuff out, I'm going to wash it all down with hot water and Dawn dish soap. I don't know if you can pick it up on camera, but it must have been stained like a mahogany or a walnut, then someone painted over it black. But it looks like it got too close to like fire heat, so it's all bubbly and rough. I don't know what kind of paint it is, so I'm not going to take that chance on it having something bad in it. So I'm just going to paint over it and then seal it. And that texture don't bother me because I'm going to keep it for myself, but if someone were to want to buy it, if I were to sell it and they didn't like that look, then I would strip it all back. But for myself personally, I'm not going to take that chance. And this is my first time doing an antique chair that has like the, I don't know, I guess it would be like seat belt material for the base of the seat. But pretty excited. Follow me along. I don't know if you can see my little boy right there in the window. Where are we? Right there. He's being a little cranky. He's Mama's boy. Well, they're both Mama's boys, but you don't like to be out of Mama's sight. Lots of nails up in this. I think once I redo it, I will staple like the front fabric and then use the pin nails for the back fabric. I think it would just be a cleaner look that way. At least that's my plan anyways. We'll see as I go. Definitely have lots of fabric. Must be the original. And then they just went over it with something new. I'm taking it all back and going to start fresh. Oh, there's Mama's other boy right there in the window. He's seen the camera, so he had to run away. Now let's just rip it. Ooh. Yucky. Well, I don't know who in their right mind would choose something like this, but yikers. I guess I should be wearing a mask. Oh, this fabric rusted. That'll be nice. Oh, they even have the like burlap backing for the back part of the seat too. Once I get this off, I'll zoom you in closer and then you can see what I'm talking about. Lots of fabric on this. Mommy. What, babe? What? We'll see in a little bit. Yes, in a minute. In a minute I will. Bunch of monkeys. know if you can see. They have like a whole new, like, might have been like a velvet or a piece of rug. That's what it looks like. Piece of rug from like the 50s. Definitely not my style. Let's see if I can't figure out how to zoom you in. Oh, maybe I can tilt you in without making you all dizzy. But this is even like that burlap strap support stuff. You can see it's coming off. As long as it's not too rotted, I could just reattach it, but if it is, then I'll have to get new ones. The bottom looks still pretty good, decent shape. But we'll see as I rip it apart some more. I think that is. So maybe that's not insulation, that might be like batting from inside the quilt. Lakers. pretty crazy that they basically used what they had to use, or what they had on hand. Pretty cool. My sister got an old rocking chair that used to be our great-grandmother's, and she had it reupholstered, and come to find out, in the stuffing there was hay, and that was something else that they also used. Well, honey, okay, so that's pretty cool. There was nothing in the back like that, or the back part of the seat, but there's hay down here. Like, that's pretty cool. I don't know if I'd want to keep hay in it. Especially old hay. I don't know. We'll see. This is the paint I'll be using. I have 3 cans because I have one that's kind of half full, one that has a little bit, and one that's brand new. So figured we'll put the 2 empty ones together and see how far I can get before I open the new one. Have webbing, I'm using my hubby's old ratchet strap. I just need something that has support. And I'm not too worried about the color because it's gonna have coverings on the top and bottom of the seat and the back. So you won't even see that, but still. Anywho, let's do this. I'll do all the top surfaces first and then flip it and do all the bottom. I think that would be easier. Although maybe I probably should have went with the bottom and then the top, but it's okay. Sometimes you have to work backwards. Chalk paint, I'm not using water because the chair itself from previous stain or paint already has like a texture to it, but I also think a lot of that texture is from being too close to like a fire heat or in a fire, if that makes sense. So like it's very melted like and rough. So the brush strokes from the chalk paint without using water, I think would just add to it. So I'm not going to use water this time. So in some videos you may see me use it, other times you may not. Just, it all depends on your preference. If you like the brush strokes, if you don't. And this chair was a pain in the butt, trying to get out all those nails. A lot of them come out fairly easy. Some of them broke, then other ones wouldn't even budge at all, so I basically hammered them in further, so when I do put the new cushion on and the new fabric, it's not something that you'll feel or like poke through the fabric and then ruin it. So I just made sure all of like the broken ones and the ones that were rising up were nailed back in. And this brush is just, it's the same as a chalk brush. They're both chalk brushes. This one's just bigger, so it holds more paint, has more bristles. This one's smaller, so I use it for smaller spaces that the big one can't really get into. But like I said before, you don't have to use a chalk brush. You can use any type of paintbrush. You can even use a sponge, if that's all you had on hand. And because I'm making this chair for myself, that's why I opted for using like an old ratchet strap for the braces for the seat in the back. Because I'm trying to use what I already have available to me on hand versus going out spending money that I don't need to if I don't have to. made out of an old antique headboard and footboard also did the same thing. It had some bleed through with a darker stain or a darker wood. So I had to go back over that with primer and then back over it with paint. It worked. Use a paintbrush. You could even use spray paint if you wanted to, or chalk paint that comes in a spray can. That was what I was going to originally use, but I only had a can and a half, and I didn't want to can't even talk. I didn't want to start it with a can and then not have enough. So I didn't want half of it to look smooth and then the other half look brushed. So I just opted for just brushing the whole thing. And I think what I'm going to do is use my matte clear sealer that I do have in a spray can form. And then once that's all dry, I'll go over the main parts that will get the most wear, like the leg part, the back part, and I'll go over that with wax also, once the clear coat is dry. You don't have to do that. I'm doing that just for extra protection, I guess, because I do have two small boys, so anything could happen. I hope not, but it could, and it probably will.